Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. Got a video today from Alexander Grace. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that. Chow time.
What in the hell? What?
Texas from my
This is the type of text I get while I'm out here. Hey. And I said, hey. She said, what are you doing? I said, fishing. She said, oh, okay. Well, I have a question. Would you be against getting a horse?
What? Where'd the horse come from? The hell?
And I said, we do not have room for a horse. We have to buy a house before a horse.
Oh my jeez. It's like a little kid coming to ask you like the dumbest questions, like, Daddy, why is the water blue? Or Daddy, why is the sky green? Or whatever it is. You know, like, I know I'm saying stupid things, but obviously that's the whole point.
And then she replied, why do you hate me? And I said, I don't hate you. Where can we put a horse? She says, my backyard. I said, that won't work. Then after that, she said, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And she replies with, no, you don't. If you did, you'd let me have a horse. You might as well just break up with me.
Oh, brother, we understand. Any of us has been with women long enough. Totally understand.
I don't get it.
She texts that no horse means you don't love me, and boom, just like that, you're trapped. She's rigged the game against you, and there is no way that you can win. If you call her out and you say, that's insane, horses don't equal love.
I'm crazy? You calling me crazy? You never want to do that, guys. Don't ever call them crazy or insane. It blows them up even more. It's just like saying, calm down.
Then she'll accuse you of being cold and uncaring. But if you indulge her and say, I'll prove my love, you can get a horse, then you've just added fuel to her crazy. And then suddenly she has trapped you with the
And now she expects a horse.
precedent that you can't say no to her without your love being in question. And here's what society never told you about women, which is that bending over backwards for her, that does not create calm, that cements her paranoia. Today, a horse. Tomorrow, a circus. Giving in to her emotional terrorism does not make you the ringmaster, it makes you the clown. Every hoop you jump through strengthens her irrationality, making it much worse. And every time you...
This is probably me and my marriage. Jumped through a lot of hoops. It was definitely the clown with all the makeup. Ronald McDonald looked at me and just laughed.
act to prove your innocence, it just makes you seem more guilty. So what is a man to do? Well, this is the truth that women will never admit out loud, which is that they don't actually want a man to take their emotions seriously.
The worst thing to me that could possibly ever happen is people taking me seriously when I complain. If I complain, I am being dramatic for like the vibe of being dramatic. It's funny, it's like...
It's not.
Like, I like to do it. Like, I like to complain in a fun way. When I get comments that are like, it's okay, girl. Like, you're so strong. Keep going. Stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please. That's not what I mean. Okay? Stop.
I complain just for the vibes. That sentence just captures women so well. Men
Exactly.
are not consistent. When it comes to their own emotions, they'll happily ignore them. It's just like background noise. Not that important, just get on with life. But when it comes to women's emotions, they'll drop everything. Life stops while we make sure that she's okay. Men, I ask you, why the inconsistency? The truth is that men repress their emotions too much. But women have the opposite problem. Every one of their emotions is overly indulged. They need to control themselves. They're too emotional. Though, of course, saying that in this culture is highly
Yeah, I was going to say, calling a woman too emotional. Oh, ooh. Cancel offense.
controversial.
We raise boys to control their natures, but we don't raise girls to control their natures.
True.
Boys are told, you got to control your sexual nature, you got to control your aggression.
Women have control their hypergamous nature and their, sluttiness.
What do we tell girls to control? Right. Nothing. But they have to control their emotions. And whenever I have said that, the left wing on the internet goes crazy that this is misogyny. Oh, we have to control our emotions. Well, first of all, everybody has to control their emotions.
Exactly.
But the notion that women are not born perfect Right. Is insulting to them.
Men typically see negative emotions as dead weight, like it serves no practical purpose. You just got to exercise self-control.
It can be somewhat of a drive. Negative emotions to drive you forward sometimes too.
And keep going. And it's baffling to men that women would rather abandon that self-discipline to just wallow in fear, sadness, and anger. But what men don't understand is that women experience those emotions very differently. To the feminine brain, those emotions bring a unique reward. Men, you need to know this about women. As a man, you might dread negative feelings, but women don't have that same aversion. Anxiety pumps adrenaline, crying floods endorphins, and the amygdala uses strong emotions to anchor memories in place. You intuitively know this. Have you ever heard a woman's story about something that happened that's high on emotion but very low on accuracy? That's an actual strategy. Women exaggerate the feelings that they are feeling to improve their memory recall. That's not a bug, it's a feature. We know that there's a large hormonal difference between men and women, and that impacts our thoughts and feelings, but there's a very big neurological difference as well. Larry Cahill did fantastic research on this, showing that there is a clear and measurable difference between the sexes. The data shows how the amygdala processes emotions differently inside the female brain, and how men and women's brains synthesize serotonin differently. The point being that from a woman's perspective, negative emotions are not a drag, they're a rush with a payoff. If you've ever wondered why women actively seek
I never even thought that they get a rush from it, but I guess that makes sense because they love drama so much. Like, they must get this endorphins.
Seek out drama and conflict, it's because it feeds her. Many women would rather fight with you than be bored.
I mean, we knew this in a sense of we knew women were like that. We didn't know that there's as neurologically and brain wiring. So shout outs to Alex.
I'm so fucking bored. I'm so fucking bored. I don't want to do anything. I'm so bored. I'm so bored. I'm bored.
Negative emotions and female chaos are contagious amongst women. When they watch reality TV or they scroll through social media or spend time with other women, very easily your girlfriend can become infected by the negative emotions that she's exposed to. That's not an accident. She seeks it out. She wants to get infected. That's part of femininity. Emotions make her feel alive. But understand that while she is contagious, she wants you, the man in her life, to have immunity. That's your job, to stand above the chaos and not get infected by any of her drama.
I'm actually a pretty self-aware person. Like, when I make bad decisions, it's not because I didn't know they're bad. That's actually kind of the problem, is that I know they're bad decisions and then I make them anyway. For the plot, we'll say, but actually no, just because I'm mentally ill and I can't get my shit together.
When she can't get her life together, she needs to see that you are on top of things, that she's not going to be able to drag you into her chaos. Women often talk about emotional labor in a relationship, how it needs to be 50-50, and that's true. But the thing is that men and women have different roles. For a woman's emotional labor, her role is to get a man to open up, help him explore his feelings, to talk about them, learn how to put into words what he's feeling. That's her role. For a man, his emotional labor is the opposite. Staying strong, stoic, above all the chaos, allowing her to express her emotions and holding her within his unshakable masculine frame. She needs to know that while her emotions are held and explored,
that's why we say you gotta be stoic, man. Don't let the emotions flood you.
Decisions are ultimately going to be made by rationality and logic. In a healthy relationship, the emotional labor flows back and forth, each gender helping the other one pull them back from an overindulgence of their tendencies. For men, repression; for women, overexpression. And so for a man to do his job correctly, he needs to have a very clear distinction between the emotions that a woman is feeling and what she believes is causing them. She might say, I'm feeling unloved because you won't buy me a horse. But that's not true. And any time that you spend talking about the horse is time wasted. And even worse, you lose credibility because she successfully dragged you into her nonsense. You need to tell her that setting boundaries is an expression of how much you love her. And that if she's feeling unloved, the two of you can talk about it. We're not going to talk about a horse, but we will talk about you. We'll talk about your feelings, because that's actually what's important right now. A woman does not want a man who submits to her fears. She wants a man who leads her out of them.
I have a question.
Yes, I still love you. Yes, I'd love you if you were aware. No, I don't want to break up. And no, I wouldn't find another wife if you died.
Thank you.
Whatever the argument is, make sure your frame is solid. Do not indulge her chaos. If she says, you're not trustworthy, any day now you're going to cheat on me, you don't solve that by handing her phone so that she can see that there's nothing to be worried about. If she says, you don't care about me because you didn't buy me flowers yesterday, you don't solve that by buying her flowers. When you are rock solid that you know that you are trustworthy, that you do love her, then stay solid in that. Don't be a clown jumping through her hoops like a circus act.
I was definitely a clown. The more I watch Alex, the more I realize I was not the business. I was not him. Especially in my marriage, I was definitely the clown. The clown.
You do not gain trust from a woman by constantly proving to her that you're trustworthy. You do it by standing firm in reality. And when she's emotional and lashing out, successfully redirecting the conversation away from you and towards her and her emotions. In fact, I make the case that as a man, trust is not something that you should earn from a woman at all. From a woman, trust is something that you should demand. You are entitled to it, and I'm going to spend the rest of the video explaining why.
If you guys want to learn more, go to his Patreon. Again, I always promote his Patreon. He's probably one of the only people I promote like a paid thing for. And I'm probably sure you guys get upset about it here or there, but it's actually of value. Of $5 for the value that you can get from, you know, the knowledge that this gentleman dispenses, especially on the Patreon. It's definitely worth it. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I catch you guys